Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the Season 6 Invitational of the Eternal Tournament Series. We are in our last Winners Bracket match before Winners Finals. We have Lights Out Ace on Xenon Interrogator, taking on Thundershot and Xenon Midrange.
Yeah, looks like a pretty similar matchup. One of the major differences here is that Lights Out Ace is running 2 Xenon Obelisks, while Thundershot is running 4. We are basically just trying to establish the game plan of both decks is to push out these Auric Interrogators and get them up to the +5 attack so that you can draw a bunch of cards off of them. Beyond that, you play just a lot of really meaningful threats. Dawnwalkers are a key card in the matchup. And it looks like one list is actually playing Twin Brood Sauropods, while the other is playing Carnosaurs.
Yep. Thundershot is playing the Twin Broods and Lights Out Ace is playing the extra copy of Carnosaur as well as a copy of Annihilate. So in the main boards here, the Xenon decks are very close together, but the sideboard is where they're going to start to differ quite a lot. So we will see that when we get into our sideboard games. But for this early game, there's some very interesting hands drawn up by our players.
Yeah, Ace is looking at a pretty small amount of stuff. Like he's got the Xenon Initiation here. He's got the Blistersting Wasp, and then if he can't find his third power, he gets into a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, Thundershot is basically just trying to set up an Argenport Instigator and a Ion, and he actually gets both of those on curve pretty easily.
Yeah, he does. Ace has his own Argenport Instigator here. Thundershot picking up another Ion, very good for him. I mean, Thundershot's game plan at this point looks to be get 2/5 power, drop Twin Brood Sauropod. When it dies, Dark Return it, and do it all over again. And that's going to be pretty nasty for Ace, who's going to be struggling to come up with that many answers to quite a lot of threats from Thundershot's side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see Instigator number 1 there attacking in. That's a good amount of damage to both players. With Lights Out Ace playing both Instigators, he's actually got a reasonable amount of tempo, but the Ions do answer that pretty well and prevent anything from happening too extreme in terms of like early damage and early health pools getting depleted. Meanwhile, Ace is just stuck on 2, so that's going to be a problem for the rest of the game, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is. Although Ace did pick up a banner, so he was able to play the Interrogator. And now that Thundershot leads off with his Ion, if Thundershot doesn't have an answer to this Interrogator, Ace is very likely next turn to go Xenon Initiation, take care of an Ion, and then he's going to start drawing cards. And I mean, that's really what the Xenon deck is looking to do, is abuse that Interrogator ability and draw up quite a handful. Thundershot will have the Sauropods, though, so it's not like this is going to go unanswered.
Yeah, it's very rare that you can get an interrogation off on an interrogator and sorry, an initiation on an interrogator, and then also still keep the interrogator. So this should be a very good swing for Ace. He's actually attacking with the 3/3 first, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, he looks like he's willing to offer the trade. Maybe he's looking for another line of play, or maybe he's trying to fish out another Ion. Either way, yeah, we're gonna see an Ion come down here, and gonna see the attack come through.
Oh, Thundershot.
Yeah,
So
he missed health there, right?
yeah, you're supposed to double block with them life steals. So you get the Xenon Initiation here, and 5/4 there kills the 3/3. Yeah, fun fact that's a trick you can actually learn from the Eternal AI. They know how to do that. It's a fun little thing that they will do with the lifesteal. But yeah, no.
Yeah, definitely a missed opportunity
Missing.
there, though.
Yep, a little bit of extra health. We'll see if the 3 health makes a difference, and if so, we can chide Thundershot further. But I think that overall, this looks just fine.
Ooh, Predatory Carnosaur coming down for Thundershot. Now, this is going to break the board open just a little bit. Unlikely Ace is going to be willing to trade the Sauropod into the Interrogator. So it's going to be interesting to see what Thundershot picks. And yeah, I definitely would choose the same target in that situation. Sandstorm Titan, much more threatening, and it also allows the Twin Brood Sauropod to come through the board, since Ace, as I mentioned, not going to trade off that Interrogator that easily.
Yeah, Ace keeping the Interrogator around means that he continues to draw cards. He does take the damage from it, Impending Doom style, which means that he's going to have a slightly lower clock against some matchups. It's not necessarily going to be meaningful here since basically he's already looking at 11 damage a turn, but it could matter a little bit. He's actually like capable of taking 11 here and then going to 2 and just bleeding out on the interrogator.
Yeah, that is certainly true. Ace does have a Death Strike here. He's going to fire off, I imagine, into one of these units, but it's not like Thundershot's short due to the Twin Brood Sauropod. He's going to be able to keep reloading. Ace really looking to get up to that 6th power. He needs an undepleted power here. That way he can get the Blister Sting and his second Death Strike into play at the same time and kind of secure the board a little bit for himself.
Yeah, so yeah, these sauropods are really making a difference. They're giving Thundershot a lot of value. Ace had some tricky power problems early, so he's not playing a particularly efficient line, and a lot of it is a bit more reactive than you'd like. And being reactive against the sauropods, there's just always more sauropods, it seems. So we have Ace with Dawnwalker Initiation. That'll get him some value and also allow him to basically block with his Interrogator while drawing another card. He could also set up something along the lines of like a Blister Sting Wasp into an almost Death Strike, which doesn't quite do it.
Yeah, and ooh, we see Thundershot picking up a Death Strike here. It's going to open the board up a little bit. Thundershot going to have to make some interesting attacks here. Meanwhile, that Interrogator is just slowly bleeding him out. And Thundershot happy to trade his board away here. I mean, worst comes to worst, he just Dark Returns, grabs the Sauropods back, and goes in again. And once there are 6/5s, I mean, it's going to be pretty nasty for Ace to deal with.
Yeah, he can Dark Return Carnosaur here, kill the Interrogator, and leave Ace with no choices. Or he can just attack for 2/5s and like, I think there's not really a bad choice for him. Obelisk might be pretty close. It only allows him to get 1 unit, but it does at least get him the Interrogator simple jump block.
Yeah, that was pretty questionable out of Thundershot there, I have to say. I think of all the choices you could have gone with, I don't like Obelisk that much. I much prefer just swinging the Sauropods and then Dark Returning and playing one immediately, or even Death Striking the Auric Interrogator down, as you suggested. But the Obelisk seems a little medium.
Yeah. It sets up a potential surprise lethal where he can Dark Return Carnosaur and then just get across, or Death Strike and get across. And with Interrogator continuing to bleed Ace down to 6, this means that basically Interrogator sticks for a little longer, and that's actually kind of beneficial. But here, now at 6, but really quite happy to continue to draw a gas and forcing Thundershot to play some other stuff.
Ooh, and Thundershot hits another set of Sauropods, so now that Dark Return is going to be looking a lot more likely to pick up a Carnosaur. In fact, wouldn't be surprised if he goes ahead and does this right now, grabs the Carnosaur, and takes care of the Auric Interrogator. Yep, although, by some accounts, you probably could just let the Auric Interrogator kill Ace himself, right?
Yeah, there's some cases for it. You could just play your Twin Brood Sauropods and hope for the best. Like, most of the Xenon stuff does answer 1 for 1, and if you're playing your Twin Brood Sauropods, then you're gonna be just fine on tempo for quite some time. But Thundershot's low enough on health, and I'm not sure if that's necessarily the right line. So we will go ahead and see instead him attacking with an 8/8 each turn, and Ace with just the Death Strike here. Gets to kill the first one and then has to deal with Sandstorm Titans, Twin Brood Sauropods, big old pile of cards.
This could actually be big here, though. Thundershot goes down to 9 right here, and he's going to go down to 8 and then immediately to 5, since Ace could drop the Carnosaur to take care of it. If you drop the Sandstorm Titan, it was insulated against the Carnosaur attack, but I think Ace at this point is going to have to drop the Carnosaur and go ahead and trade it off. Oh, does pick up Xenon Initiation.
That's Xenon Initiation.
That's big.
Not super helpful here, but it does. Oh, it makes his Carnosaur bigger, which is actually kind of relevant.
Yeah, it'll keep the Carnosaur alive, and it also, the Dawnwalker's back on the table now, so Ace might have been able to put together a lethal attack here, assuming Thundershot doesn't pick up a power and is able to drop Sandstorm Titan into a Death Strike here.
So the question on my mind is that 3 health that Thundershot missed early going to matter? At the moment, it's starting to look like it. He's got Avara's Favor for the Dawnwalker, which allows him to set up Sandstorm Titan as a defensive unit. 8th power gets him to the point where he can actually block the 3/3 without any issues. But then he's got other problems. Basically, the main one being that if Ace can find any sort of damage.
Yeah, if you're Thundershot here, I feel like actually, well, we'll see if he gets punished here. I felt like leading off with the Sandstorm Titan was a mistake, and in fact it is. This Banish takes care of the Sandstorm Titan, and that's going to give Ace lethal. If Thundershot went for Death Strike right there, I don't really know what Ace punishes him with.
Yeah, if he goes for Death Strike, then Ace gets 2 attacks in, but it's not amazing. Like he gets to attack and then banish attack, and Thundershot would die because of the miss 3 health. But beyond that, like yeah, no, neither line of play worked out very well. So Thundershot going down a game, and we'll be seeing the next one.
Yeah, and wow, I mean, you did allude to it, but really, yeah, Thundershot kind of loses there due to the 3 health. Certainly not in the scenario he went for, but that definitely went down to the wire there, and that's what we're gonna see out of pre-board these pre-board mirror decks. There really aren't a lot of differences, though we certainly saw them in that matchup. I mean, we saw the Twin Brood Sauropod really coming in big there.
Yeah, very, very big issue. Like I think the Trinidad Sauropods were really, really good for Thundershot that entire time. Like basically, Ace was drawing a card every turn, and it just wasn't enough because Thundershot had the same amount of threats. Like he was always picking up as many threats as Ace was, so it was just a really, really big deal. The Sauropods did a wonderful job, and I was actually kind of delighted by their inclusion.
Yeah, definitely a nice little tech choice here for Thundershot, really coming in handy in this matchup. And now we see some very interesting hands out of our players here. Ace with the early Blister Sting Wasp and the Ion, as well as a Dark Return and a Xenon Initiation, so he can do some little tricks here. Thundershot with the large Carnosaurs and the Banish, but not going to be coming in handy until the later turns as far as his threats go.
Yeah, we see Blister Sting Wasp into Xenon Interrogation. We have Vara's Favor. We have the Ion. Like Ace has a lot of different options here. I think he's probably going to go for the Ion because it's just a very strong starter. But he doesn't have a lot of late game to mid game, which is going to be an issue if Thundershot gets up to those Carnosaurs, which are really crucial in the matchup.
Definitely, and we're seeing Ace go ahead and attack in here. Happy to trade his Ion away into the Blister Sting Wasp since he's holding that Dark Return.
Yep, it means a little bit of extra health, and it means that he actually gets to do something on his next couple of turns. Allows him to sort of set up a little bit better. Thundershot not actually taking the block on the Ion, choosing to wait, see if there's going to be a Sandstorm Titan or something bigger.
Yeah, a little bit curious there. He doesn't take the block. Not necessarily a bad choice there. He can be holding back for something else, but we're likely to see Ace take advantage of it. And now Thundershot's just going to end up using the... oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. Use the Initiation. He keeps the Blister Sting Wasp alive for trading the Ion, so...
That also sets it up better for Dark Returns because he gets to repeat that killer effect. So it's really not bad, and there's a lot to like about it.
Yep, absolutely. And I would not be surprised if we see Ace do a similar play of his own where he drops the Blister Sting Wasp with a Xenon Initiation. Sandstorm Titan going to ground the units here, though we are going to see Thundershot take advantage of this with the Banish hanging out in hand.
He might save it. He can banish the Sandstorm Titan if he wants to, but he's got the Blister Sting Wasp to wait with. So if he doesn't want to be aggressive, he can just wait for his Carnosaurs to solve the Sandstorm Titan problem and then save the banishes for an Obelisk or something scary.
Yeah, this is definitely true as well. Ace with a Dark Return, I'm waiting to see what deems Dark Return worthy here. Might very well be that Sandstorm Titan, since he will be able to make the larger Titan of it.
Yeah, we have a very strange matchup here with 2 Blister Sting Wasps on one side and 1 on the other. Neither side is really going to want to attack into these because it's such a weird trade, but at the same time, both players really need to establish that trade in order to get things going. Like Ace is probably more comfy finding an attack than Thundershot is, but he's got these Carnosaurs and they're not really seeing a lot of use right now.
Yeah, I think Ace is definitely favored in this position for a few reasons. One being the addition of the second Blister Sting Wasp on the board, as well as both the Xenon Initiations in his hand, but also he has Dark Return, so it's not like he can't just go back and grab... like, if he throws Xenon Initiation on this Blister Sting Wasp, for example, and takes care of the Sandstorm Titan, just go back and do it again next time Thundershot plays a unit. He also can, go pick up his own Titan if he wants to.
Yeah, double Xenon Initiation plus Death Strike really puts Ace in a very strong place, but he does have to deal with the Carnosaurs eventually. Obelisk on Thundershot's side is going to demand some sort of answer, but it's not going to be too big a deal for a while. Obelisk is kind of a defining card in this matchup, unless your opponent has Banish, in which case it's just another card on the table. But it does mean that basically everything is bigger, everything's more valuable, so whoever has the best Obelisk can sometimes win the round.
Definitely, and we finally see Thundershot willing to trade the Sandstorm Titan away here. We're going to see Thundershot also just go ahead and drop the bar as favor. He's going to drop the other Xenon Obelisk too, so he's made absolutely massive units on his side.
Yeah, a 4/6 Blistersing Wasp is scary enough that Lights Out Ace is probably going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, he certainly will. He does have the Death Strike for it, which, might just be good enough here. I feel like he could just Death Strike it away and then spend his turn using Dark Return to go fish up his own Sandstorm Titan for the following turn.
Yeah. To have the Death Strike for Carnosaurs, which we know Thundershot has two of course, but it's hard to say exactly how he's going to want to do this. Xenon Initiation on the Blistersing Wasp also gets him like a better Wasp. He can Dark Return the Sandstorm Titan and just go for that, and that's not a really particularly bad play. He did not play it, though. He's actually holding onto the Death Strike and staying put.
Yeah, and this is interesting seeing the Blistersting Wasp come in here. Ace is going to be more than happy to trade, and maybe this is what Thundershot was waiting for to try and establish a Carnosaur, but it looks like he's just going to bide his time and wait for Ace to slip up and drop something here, since this Carnos are 8/8s. That being said, the Sandstorm Titan, he's got Dawnwalker and he's got Argenport Instigator, so...
He's holding on to the Sandstorm Titan here. He's just trying to avoid losing to the Carnosaurs and doing a pretty good job of it overall.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Thundershot's going to have to lead off here with his own Carnosaur and trade into something. He does have an Ion, which is very good for him since it is going to be a 5/5 here.
Yeah, Ace would really like to find another power so that he can play Sandstorm Titan down and give it like a little bit of a boost, but it's not going to help him too much against the other 8/8 Carnosaur. And that is actually a pretty significant hit. He gets to banish Ion or the Obelisk, and the Obelisk it is. Gets him a fairly solid swing. He gets the Carnosaur, but with banish on the Obelisk, he's actually in a lot better shape now. And if he gets that 6th power, he can Titan Initiation and just eat the Carnosaur.
Yeah, and you have to admit, like, what great timing there out of Ace. Like, Thundershot immediately top decks the Auric Interrogator right after it takes care of the Obelisk, so he's no longer going to get the triggers from there. And now Ace is able to just establish this giant Sandstorm Titan, as well as drop a Dawnwalker back on the board. And he's going to have those Xenon initiations that he's going to be able to use to take care of the Carnosaurs with the cards like Dawnwalker. So
yeah, he'll take some damage here. Thundershot not pushing for a lethal, doesn't quite think he has it. Ace can get the Xenon Interrogation initiation out, and that'll help him out with just like overall value. He can start trading with Carnosaurs. He'll take some damage from the Instigator in the process. He can also hit the Auric Interrogator and prevent more further card draw from Thundershot. But doing so prevents him from playing Sandstorm Titan, which is his card for defense in this situation.
Yeah, he will be able to... Ace has the option to use this Dawnwalker here, and I think this is really going to be what swings the matchup. Not only just the Thundershot's out of cards, but I think Ace really could just go for a play here where he drops the Xenon Initiation, like we were saying, takes care of one of the Carnosaurs. He's still holding the board down well with his own Sandstorm Titan, and then he just gets it back next turn with his own Sandstorm Titan, and then he can also use the Initiation on his own Sandstorm Titan to start picking off threats, and all of a sudden Thundershot really doesn't have anything going on.
He chooses instead to opt for the Death Strike play, just get a single piece of removal off. I think he's holding on basically to just get his like best removal out and sort of like keep the board as solid as possible against like potential Xenon Obelisks. But if Thundershot wasn't attacking last turn, he's not going to attack this turn. So like we see a 6 there, and that's going to be pretty safe for Lights Out Ace. Once he has that established, he can actually start bringing things back with Titan, and he actually has the 6th power this time, so it doesn't cost him too much on tempo.
Yeah, and that actually really was, I think, what Ace was waiting for there. Why he chose to go with Death Strike is that he wanted to be able to do it all in one fell swoop. He does do that quite well. He's now established the board. Ace is going to be able to use the Dawn Walker to take care of Thundershot Sandstorm Titan, and now he's going to be able to start crashing with his own Sandstorm Titans and taking care of multiple threats on the board at a time. And he's got another Dawnwalker in hand, so able to establish another threat here. Although, interesting, he goes for the Interrogator.
I like that play a lot. I was actually going to suggest it myself. Like he's going for the Interrogator here just to deny Thundershot any possibility of recovering. If Thundershot gets an Obelisk here, it does not get him enough draws to basically out-threat Ace. And with Ace like basically playing the advantage game, like winning off of just like cards right now, Thundershot doesn't have a response to that. He has no way to basically get turns.
Absolutely, though. That does make us using to play this safe. Now we see him using a Dawnwalker with that Xenobelisk in play to bring back his other Dawnwalker, and he's just got a stranglehold on this game.
And Dawnwalker into Dawnwalker. Thundershot down 2-0. Gonna go into sideboards now, and we'll see if he can pick up a couple of games.
Yeah, and this is where the decks are going to start to vary up a little bit. The sideboards, I don't believe, are as close as their main decks are. Let's start with Thundershot. He's the one who's in need of all the help he can get right now. So, taking a look at his list, he's got 4 copies of Suffocate, 2 copies of Annihilate, Vara's Choice, right? 2 Devoted Thurge, 3 Steward of the Past. Definitely a lot of interesting choices for him. Suffolk fantastic here. Not a lot of
love
threats.
The Annihilates here. They're great against Carnosaurs. They're really, really solid overall. I'm a big fan of Vara's Choice as well in these decks. Like basically each player is going to be holding onto a lot of mid-range threats. They're not as good for Ace as they are for Thundershot, and I don't think Ace actually has them in his sideboard, but being able to just toss units out of your opponent's hand can be extremely effective, especially when those units are Dawnwalkers, because silencing them first means that you get rid of them forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Vara's Choice, super great here. Death Strike, just another removal spell here. Steward of the Past, definitely a card that I imagine is going to make its way into the deck, as we saw even with just the Blister Sting Wasps. You are able to lock the board down quite a lot when you have those deadly units into play if your opponent can't find for them. So you're going to see those coming in.
Interesting Wasp in almost every aspect when it comes to the mirror matchup. There's not really any big flyers or anything that Blistersting Wasp needs to deal with. You often don't need to play like a super early defensive unit, and like it's bigger, it locks down Dawnwalkers, it locks down anything with killer on it from Zenith Initiation. It basically just makes Dark Return a lot less valuable, and also it's a deadly unit, so it trades with everything. So yeah, really, really solid card. Probably should come in.
Absolutely. And on Ace's side, now here's where things start to get a little bit interesting. Ace has his own copies of Sauropod, which you have to assume are going to come in. I mean, that card is just
it turns out to be pretty good, yeah. He's got Cat Burglars to knock Obelisks out of hand. Cat Burglars are deadly units, so they make a reasonable swap for Blistersting Wasp, especially since, like, again, like you're not really looking for flying answers, so you're fine with just making a different type of deadly unit, especially one that could potentially get you some card advantage. But it's also kind of low impact because there's only like he's got a lot of things that he's probably going to want to bring in.
Yeah, definitely. And we are about to get underway with the game. We're just seeing the first power being dropped right now. I believe we lost audio for a second, I hear, but I think we have it back.
Ace has a very flexible sideboard that I think is going to serve him well, like throughout the set of games. I do think that Thundershot's sideboard is like it's very focused, but it's probably a little bit stronger against Ace's deck. So he might be able to take a few games back here.
Yeah, I can certainly agree to that. And we see Thundershot leading off here. He's going to have the Argenport Indicator coming down now, though this is a concession that it's unlikely he's going to be playing anything on his next. Yeah, it's going to be just a Vara's favor to get him another power.
Yeah, Thundershot has a rough hand here. He can Vara's favor to get himself up to 4, and that's not too bad, but he is going to have to kind of take this turn off. If he wants to attack for 3, that's totally fine. It pressures the cat burglar a little bit, but we see the cat burglar just sort of sitting there being ready to go. And Ace could attack with that if he wants to. I think he's fine playing passive with this.
Yeah, I think he is as well, and he's going to be able to establish his own Auric Interrogator. And now this, very big pickup there for Thundershot, in my opinion. Time Sigil, great hit right there. Otherwise, it put him in a bit of an awkward position where couldn't choose to banish the Interrogator, and he could choose to banish the Interrogator, but he wouldn't be able to establish his fourth power this turn. Wouldn't be able to play the Var's favor, so this ends up working out well for him.
Yeah, no obelisk and no interrogation or no initiation means that the interrogator is going to be just fine staying on board for a little while. Thundershot can establish some other stuff and get a little bit more started. We do see Avara's favor here. Thundershot basically taking the turn. He's almost certainly going to banish this Auric Interrogator.
Yeah, we're going to see the banish coming down on the Auric Interrogator. Ace, of course, having banishes and annihilates of its own to respond with, so depending on what Thundershot chooses to play here, we got plenty of answers on both sides. Thundershot picking up an annihilate of his own now, and yeah, this is what I was alluding to earlier. This is going to be a slugfest of matchup here.
Annihilate is such a good tempo card here, just because it's one of the things you most likely are going to actually have against Carnosaurs. Thundershot, however, is in probably a bad position. If you play Sandstorm Titan and Ace actually manages to respond with Carnosaur, that would be a pretty devastating blow. The main problem here is that Ace does not have triple time, and by the time he gets it, Thundershot may have Annihilate ready to go.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting way or another. Thundershot going to be swinging in here. Ace really deciding if he thinks that this is worthy of a banish, and in some cases I have to imagine it must be.
This is holding the one copy of Annihilate in his deck. I was a little surprised to see it because I didn't see it in his sideboard, but no, there's actually just one Annihilate, and he's got it, and it's actually a very good card in this match.
Yep, he just happens to be floating it around, and yeah, it's going to come in handy here. The Thundershot going a safer route. He's going to establish his Blister Sting Wasp, that way he can trade with things on the board, and that's the target Ace is looking for to banish.
Yep, banish knocks the Wasp out. We have another attack in with the Cat Burglar. Both players just trading 3 damage back and forth as they swap removal spells in big units. Ace not playing anything here because he's got plenty of removal left, so going to go ahead and sit here and decide if he wants to annihilate an Argentport Instigator or wait until a Sandstorm Titan is played.
And here comes the Steward of the Past. Ace definitely going to have to take care of this one as well, very likely with another banish.
Yeah,
and Prince's Annihilate here.
I think it's worth killing it here. He does lose the potential to respond to Carnosaurs effectively, but he's continuing to attack for 3 every turn. He can play the Carnosaur down now if he wants to. It's going to be... He's drawn the Sauropods, so that's a better play.
Yeah, the big pickup we obviously can see there for a second is the Sauropods coming down, and Thundershot going to respond with a Sandstorm Titan, but obviously Predatory Carnosaur still hanging out in Ace's hand. Now he's going to take care of that, and this is looking like it's completely swung in Ace's favor.
He's just a little bit heavier on board now. He got the Carnosaur down at the appropriate time. Sandstorm Titan into Annihilate is not terrible here. It actually does put Thundershot at the advantage.
Even better.
Sandstorm Titan into Xenon Initiation, yeah, even better. Gets the Carnosaur eaten back. Revenge of the Titans. And Ace with the Banish does get 5 more damage in, which is an awful, awful lot. Thundershot can no longer rely on Interrogators to draw him out of the game. He's only got 1 removal card here, and Var's Favor's not going to do it for him.
Yeah, and that really did it. Ace hitting the Diplomatic Seal there off the top of the deck really sealed the game. If Ace hadn't hit that, Thundershot would have been able to respond to the single Sauropod, and it's possible that Thundershot would have been able to chain together a series of dead Ace's hand. But even then, it was going to be a close game for him, and Ace is able to take down the series 3-0 in our first decisive match of the day.
Yeah, a crushing mirror, and really, really well favored for Ace. There was some pretty excellent play. So yeah, really solid set of games, and we'll be seeing Ace moving on.
Yeah, and we're going to take just a few moments to go over the bracket with you all real quick for those of you who don't have it pulled up. Ace is able to take care of it there. And we are going to have some great matchups coming up now. We have 6 players obviously left in the tournament. We had to say goodbye to Serb and Visarius in our losers bracket matches. Visarius on that Combri Party TJP mid-range list, losing to Moosh, and Serb on Argenport mid-range, losing to Idar. So now we are going on to, it's going to be Defter on Party, Combri Party, in fact, going up against Lights Out Ace for our winners finals matchup. Lights Out Ace, of course, on the Xeon Interrogator deck. Just saw him using. And Defter beating Bruised by God, who is now being dropped down. Bruised by God is going to be playing Moosh, who was on Combri Party. Going to be a rough matchup, very likely, for Bruised by God, as we saw him kind of get taken to the shed there by Defter, who's on a very, very similar lineup. And on our our second lower bracket match, we're going to have Hythar on Shadowy Combri going up against Thundershot, who was on that Xena mid-range deck. So a lot of great decks coming up, a lot of great matches, and we're going to be excited to get into the rest of them.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun stuff coming up. Stay tuned, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more rounds very soon.